And I know you guys will be here for it, and we'll look forward to it.
He's a young man with a great deal of future, I think, for the Vancouver Canucks. Got a good scoring touch, and he can skate.
He may be one of those here to celebrate that Stanley Cup.
Like Trevor Linden, he is a native of Medicine Hat. A versatile player.
Introducing Murray Craven.
Asset to this team. He finished his 12th season in the NHL.
And he came alive during the playoffs. Perhaps didn't score as many goals as people would have liked, but he was a big factor, especially in the dressing room, because he had been to 3 Stanley Cup finals, this being his 3rd, so he knew what it was all about. Murray Craven.
You know, the Stanley Cup playoffs and the Stanley Cup final is very special to play in as a player, and the city of Vancouver and the fans of Vancouver, the excitement you generated over the last 2 months in the Coliseum and the Pacific Coliseum and in the city itself has made the trip and the road to the finals even that much more memorable for all of us. Thanks very much.
This was his 12th season in the NHL, playing almost 800 games so far, and boy, did he show a lot of heart in this series.
From the same hometown as Trevor Linden, Medicine Hat, Alberta. They have produced some great hockey players down through the years. Craven and Linden, just 2 of them.
We were talking earlier about the future of the Canucks. Here's a player now who is very much part of the Canucks' future plans.
In action, number 30, rookie Mike Fountain.
Mike Fountain played in Hamilton with the Hamilton Canucks in the American Hockey League.
I'd like to thank Pat Quinn and the coaching staff for having me on this incredible ride. And to the fans, we really couldn't have done it without you. You guys have been great. Thank you very much.
And if the Canucks do lose Whitmore, that could be the backup to Kirk McLean, Mike Fountain.
All right, listen to the welcome now this next player is going to get. A real fan favorite.
Joined the Vancouver Canucks 3 years ago. He became a fan favorite immediately. A true competitor.
They know who he's talking about.
He just completed his best season as a pro. 15 goals, 13 assists, 29 points, just like his number 29, Gino Odjick.
Big Gino wanted desperately to dress and play in the Stanley Cup final. He was the heart and soul, many would say, of the team during the regular season, but Pat Quinn decided that in the playoffs he wouldn't be dressing. And the crowd is chanting, Gino, Gino, Gino.
I'd like to thank the fans for supporting us all the way through the playoffs. And also to the rest of my teammates. We started off a little slow. The big guy got mad there, and everybody pulled together, and everybody worked for each other. We had great strength and unity in the playoffs. It was beautiful. I really enjoyed it. Thanks.
The big guy he was referring to was Trevor Linden, of course, the captain of the Vancouver Canucks. I was interested to see Gino speak English. He also speaks very fluently French and Algonquin.
From the Ottawa Senators, he sure knew what he was doing.
This was one of the great coaching moves, general manager moves by Pat Quinn. Tommy Larshad introducing the next player you're going to hear from and see. Brian Glynn picked him up from the Ottawa Senators, and what a find he turned out to be during the playoff run, especially when Dana Merson went down and Glynn had to come in and take his place.
Thank you. This is amazing. All you people are totally amazing. Without you, we wouldn't be here. We played as hard as we could. You guys are behind us. Thanks a lot.
Imagine, Kevin, playing for the Ottawa Senators, and then you're a member of the Vancouver Canucks, and you're competing in the Stanley Cup final and going to a 7th game against the Rangers.
You kind of pinch yourself and say, am I dreaming?
Is this for real or what?
I talked about a fan favorite being Gino Odjick. I think this next player is certainly in that category as well.
His performance in this year's playoffs
Sergio Momesso. Big Serge, native of Montreal, won a Stanley Cup with the Montreal Canadiens back in the late 80s. And when the big guy gets motivated, he can really throw his weight around. He played some of his best hockey in the 93-94 playoffs. The kind of hockey the Canucks would like to see him play all the time.
I tell you, I'm a lot more nervous being here than being on the ice. It's been an up and down year, and obviously at the end, it's just been great. I think that these players and the coaches and this whole staff, you know, we just tried so hard to win this thing, and it's really hard to lose, but it makes it a lot easier when you come home and see all the fans here. I think you guys are really great. It's really emotional, and I like the way you guys supported us and supported me in the end. Thank you very much. I love you.
There's a guy whose gritty performance has earned the appreciation and respect of all Vancouver hockey fans.
He and his wife had their first child just before the playoffs began. I asked him after he scored that sudden death goal against the Dallas Stars what was more important, having a new baby or scoring a goal in overtime, and didn't hesitate for a second and said, having the baby.
Right answer.
Just before Mother's Day. The only answer.
Tommy Larscheid now introducing a player who really impressed. Mid-season arrival to the Vancouver Canucks. Let's listen.
Well, if he keeps scoring goals like that, the Vancouver Canucks have really found themselves a gem and stole one from the St. Louis Blues. Nathan Lafayette.
Each one of us can't say enough how we have the best fans in the league. Thank you very much. I got traded here from St. Louis at the end of the season, and it was the best move of my life. Thank you.
Well, there's Pat Quinn looking on very proudly because, of course, he was the architect of that deal.
Lafayette, also born in British Columbia. His father played for the BC Lions, so he has deep BC roots.
And he looks like he's been in the for years now. You know who I'm talking about? Number 24, Jiri Slegr.
Jiri Slegr, the son of Jiri Bubla, who played for the Vancouver Canucks.
Just want to thank all of you guys for the great support all the way down to the Stanley Cup final. Thank you. Thank you all of you.
And there we have a Jiri Slegr fan in the stands. There are many here today.
This next player became a Canuck in January, and no one has worked harder or given more to his team in this year's playoffs than this guy. He makes things happen when he's on the ice, and he's got the bumps and bruises to prove it. Let's give a big cheer to a guy who gave his all in every game, number 23, Martin Gelinas.
Thank you. When I came here in January, I didn't know what to expect from the fans, the city, the team, the organization. After 6 months, I realized that we got the best fans and the best team in the league. We came out short by 1 goal this year. We learned a lot. Next year we'll be ready. Thank you very much.
There was another Quinn steal, Martin Gelinas. They picked him up for the waiver price from Quebec. And what an addition he was, especially in the playoffs for the Vancouver Canucks. He won a Stanley Cup ring with the Edmonton Oilers.
Another arrival was Jeff Brown, who's being introduced now.